When I go out, I usually like to sort of take a friend, but usually someone who's got sort of some street smarts about them as well, because it's always good to have the security of a lookout.
I guess there's two types of painting I do. There's painting where I go out to paint, and there's painting I do when I'm out. I'm going to throw some cans of paint and some stencils in my bag, and, you know, if I see something that inspires me, I'll throw something up.
I set myself goals, and my goal was to go through 2 tins of paint each night, and I did that for like 2 or 3 months or something.
But as you notice, I've got a van, which makes it relatively easy to get around the city, particularly for doing paste-up runs, for example, wanting to get to more places and carry large amounts of materials like glue and posters. It's much easier to do that sort of thing in the dead of the night when you're less likely to be bothered.
If you really love to draw, for me, it's just about drawing when I'm walking home a lot of the time.
It's something I'll plan and go out and kind of just go on a mission by myself and just kind of go out and do as much as I can when I feel like it. You know, it's not really to do with necessarily so much to do with my mood or whatever. It's more when the time's right.
By using pseudonyms, artists can definitely live a separate life to what maybe they do in their job or at school or with their girlfriend or boyfriend. They can live a complete different reality or a kind of fantasy.
You need to protect yourself, so you make up a name and you feel it kind of represents you in a way. I initially came up with first when just playing around with some letters. It came out of the word curse, and I had spelled it K-E-R-S. Yeah, I changed the K into an F and liked the way it looked, and sometimes I spell it with an I, so it's F-I-R-S, which, you know, it's a type of tree.
The name Prism I sort of messed around and had for a little while from high school, basically, just all that sort of, I got into all that chemistry, sort of scientific stuff, I guess, like with prisms and chemicals and all that kind of stuff, and it's just stuck in my head. And from there, I've just sort of realised and embraced the letters that it has in it.
I got the name Ha Ha from watching The Simpsons. There's a kid on there called Nelson Muntz, and he just goes around going, Ha Ha. One of my mates, graffiti writer called Meow, he goes, hey, you should tag Ha Ha. And I did.
Fexter just kind of, I guess it's like probably an amalgamation of a variety of nicknames that people have given me over the past few years. And I like the idea that it's like to be vexed, like is a kind of active feeling.
It's sort of funny, I sort of stumbled across Civil as a kind of name. I mean, it was like Tom Civil, that was my name, that was my zine name, and it kind of just stuck. It's like, yeah, I'm a civilian, we're all civilians. If you're not in the military or the police, you know, you're a civilian. I also thought of that as like a public art as well as a kind of civil art for the people in a way.
I prefer to be a ghost within society, and yeah, I find that it's more fun that way.
Most of the time it's just spontaneous. It's like, hey, let's go out, let's go bombing. When I do go out, I prefer to go out by myself if I'm doing something big. It's just hard work, but it's satisfying when the job is done. I actually consider myself a bit of a corrupt security guard. Sometimes after work I like to go out and go bombing, so like usually knock off at about 3:30, 4 o'clock, jump down the train lines, might do a piece, go bombing around the area, and Ha-Ha's never been chased by security or cops, which is a good thing. But I've got a feeling that one day it may just happen. So I might have to like start exercising or something like that, as I'm very unfit. I'm just trying to like relate to Australian popular culture on the streets, and you know, not kind of like lean towards American popular culture, which is like totally in your face everywhere. Ned Kelly, he was like an Australian outlaw. Everyone knew who he was. And now he's like a legend of Australian history, even though he was an outlaw. And like stenciling, graffiti, the total street thing is like totally illegal, and it's like the same principles apply with Ned Kelly and an aerosol artist. It's got that same element. Perhaps Ha wants to be a hero. We live in a robotic society. We all feel like robots. When we go to work, I hate working. You kind of feel like you're doing this repetitive robotic job kind of thing. And it's quite demeaning, and I hate it. And also, I'm a big fan of science fiction, and I like robots. Then I went for another phase. It was like hitmen with guns. There was just heaps of shit going on. We were just like bombing everywhere. We bombed on this house, and like apparently someone must have been up, and they got into their cars and chased us down the street. I stashed my cans, and we just totally ran. And my friend, he got away, and I turned around, I saw the guy, he was like totally like slowing down. And I thought, oh yeah, cool. And I turned around again, and he was right behind me, and he grabbed me. And then the cops rocked up, and then I had to like spin some bullshit to the cops. They let me go, but they took all my details. Like I'll probably get a court summons in a couple of months or something like that. But the good thing is though, I haven't got a criminal record, so that may work to my advantage. Maybe I might like stop tagging a bit on the streets. Ha is innocent until proven guilty.
With Melbourne being sort of the mecca as far as street art goes, I mean certainly in Australia, but you know, from what I've seen and what I hear pretty much the world around, like, you know, to be able to come in and have other people push my style and me push theirs, you know, it's something you don't get in the fine art world. You know, here are artists that are doing it for reasons outside of sort of fame or pretension, or they're not chasing anything outside of just being able to paint, you know. I think that's a cool thing, just making it about the art for the art, you know. It's just, I mean, it's really just pictures on walls, really.
Melbourne has a rocking street art scene, I think, because there's a really great bunch of artists who are really proactive about putting their stuff out there and inspire and support each other and inspire other people to start doing it. You know, it's just kind of taken on a life of its own and grown and grown and grown, as well as some majority of people would consider them lax councils who don't buff walls.
I think that council is spending less money on removing graffiti because more people are doing it, and that's, I guess, part of the idea is that you slowly gain like critical mass, and then it becomes maybe clear to the council that there are just as many people that like making public artworks as there are that hate it, and I think there are more people that are appreciating it. So they're sort of, maybe they're testing it out, maybe they're letting it just be for a little while, and then they'll paint all over it again. But there are, you know, those mysterious black crosses that have been put through everything, which I think are the police, but other people have their theories. But they're through everything without bias, so it's not like it's one crew or one group of people going along and saying we hate your stuff. It's someone doing the whole lot.
To say it's now legal to have graffiti, but only in this spot. I mean, graffiti writers could say, well, that takes away a lot of our motivation for actually writing graffiti. I see that as a problem, and that's something that we'll have to face. But at the same time, even in the light of that problem, we need to make a very clear statement that